What's up everyone, my name is Gary, welcome back to the vlog. I'm here at the Hustler Casino in Los Angeles where I'll be playing at 5-5-10 today. J-Boogs from the Hustler live stream is in the game, it's always a lot of fun. I am just back from 9 days in Hawaii. It was absolutely class. I am so zen and peaceful, and you're gonna see that in my quality of play today. No messing around, no spewing, just complete aloha poker, I'm gonna call it. Had a bit of time off, back fresh, ready to go. Let's grind for another 6 weeks or so before we head back to Europe.
All right, guys, let's get straight into it. I am in for 1,500 American dollars. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling fresh after my vacation. Let's play some cards. Picking up pocket jacks in the straddle for our first hand of the day. J-Boogs is going to raise it on up to $75, and I put in the re-raise. I make it $275 to go. He's never folded to a 3-bet in his life, and sure enough, on brand, he makes the call. Flop comes down 8-3 deuce with 2 hearts. Really good start here. No overcards, no flop 2 pair combos. Definitely want to see bet. I bet out for $375, and after a couple of seconds, he is going to make the call. Turn is the 5 of diamonds, and I've got less than a pot size bet behind, so I move all in. He sighs, he asks for a count. It is $850 to him. He says he doesn't know if he can fold his hand. That sounds really good to me. I think if he had a hand like pocket queens, he would be in there already. So now I definitely want called, and sure enough,
Twice is good. I got jacks.
You win. 2 times.
2 times.
Players starting the game. That's me.
Okay.
One more time. One more time.
25-50 game number 28. Calling DTF. ALH.
You don't believe me? You don't believe it's a shot?
GTK. Mets.
Okay, nice hand. Thank God we went twice.
running it twice at my opponent's request there, and thank God he asked because he sucked out hard on that first board with a 9. Getting a brutal bad beat like this, it's a lot like taking a football to the nuts. You feel nothing for like 20 seconds, and then you're like, hey, wait a second, and then slowly but surely the immense pain spreads all over your body. This is okay in the moment, but then a minute later, I'm like, God damn it, that's a $3,000 pot he's just sucked out for half of. No matter though, because just a few minutes later, we're back in the action. I've got ace-10 offsuit in the middle blind, and J-Boogs raises it on up to $30. I'm going to make the call out the middle blind, and the big blind makes the call as well. We go 3 ways to the flop, and it comes down ace-4-3 with a flush draw. Decent start with top pair. I check, big blind checks, and Boogs just checks it on back. Turn is a 10. Really, really nice turn card. I've got top 2 pair now, and I'm about to bet out when I see the big blind reaching for a chip, so I decide to check. And sure enough, he bets out for $45. J-Boogs makes the call, and I get to chickadee check raise. I make it $235 to go. Action is back on the big blind. He's a new player. I've never played with him, but he's a non-pro. He's talking about his businesses and things like that. And he surely means business in this hand because he is going to 3-bet the flop to $550. I'm not really sure what to do here. J-Boogs gets out the way, and like I say, I've never seen this guy before. I've got no reads. This looks insanely strong. But I've got top 2 pair. If he's got me beat, it's just a cooler. So I move all in, and he snap calls. That is not good. I turn over my hand, and he says, oh no, you got me. He has got 4-3 of clubs for bottom 2 pair. And once again, my opponent says, do you want to go twice? I say, sure, why not?
Oh, wow. Gazi, welcome to the Hustler, sir. I lose a little 4-burger.
This is why you run it twice. I get so many people in the comments saying, bro, just run it once. You know, what are you doing running it twice? If I'd been doing that today, I'd be buried. In all seriousness, it is a personal preference. I let my opponent decide unless it's a big pot, at which point I will ask to go twice. You guys who prefer to run it once and would prefer to see me run it once, keep letting me know in the comments. It's not going to change anything, but you know, I appreciate the input all the same. So it's been a rough start to the day. I should be up chunks, but we're about even. I'm chipping up a little bit here. I've got queen jack of diamonds. I win this 3-bet pot, and then I pick up pocket aces, a single raise pot 3 ways. I just bet the flop and take it down. A little anti-climactic there just to win a small pot with pocket aces. Let's try ace king offsuit under the gun. Talk about a rush of solid starting hands. I raise it on up to $30. Middle position makes the call, and then the button makes it $125 to go. Small blind is then going to cold call, and action is back on me. They've both got around about 1k in their stack, so You could make it like 350 or something like that, but I quite like just jamming. Any deeper, I would just 4-bet, but I decided to just ship it in, and the button actually thought I was the straddle. I don't blame him, I usually am. He's a little frustrated that he didn't see the action and he would have played it differently, but eventually he does get out the way. Action is on the small blind and he sighs, he just lets it go, and I'm dragging in a pretty nice pot. Like I say, any deeper I'd 4-bet non all in, but with the 1k stack sizes, I think just jamming is the play there. I'm up $850 now. I've got 2.5k in my stack, recovering nicely from those silly first 2 hands of the day, but I am hungry for more profit, so let's get after it. We're actually going to switch the game now to half and half. It's a round of PLO, a round of Hold'em. This is a problem for me. You give me 4 cards and I just can't help myself. I've just got to see a flop. Limp calling this Jack 9 4-4 pre-flop. By the way, she totally cheated. Floating here on the turn and then potting the river for $180 when check 2. And just taking it down. To be fair, my opponent has got king queen. I don't know what he's doing betting the turn and then check folding the river, but I will absolutely take it. Like I say, I get a little loosey-goosey eating a sandwich when I play PLO, and this is proven in the very next hand. I've got Jack 10 9 4. I make one stupid little bit loose pre-flop call, and then it just escalates out of nowhere. I find myself calling a $495 turn bet with a big draw, but then the river bricks off and I don't win. This is a problem, especially when I'm playing 5-5 PLO. I just play too loosely and it can explode out of nowhere. Just like that, I'm losing for the day and I'm making a commitment right here, right now, to stop messing around in Omaha. Feels like I'm saying diet starts tomorrow, but it's hard. The boys are gambling, they're joking. Everyone is trying to just see every flop they can. It doesn't quite work out the way I had intended with that mental commitment to myself. And when the game converts back to full no limit hold'em, I'm stuck $900. To be fair, a couple of bad beats in the hold'em in there for me as well. I'm a bit tilted. The game is smaller. There's less action now. Not too many straddles on. I'm not really feeling it, but we've got a PLO double board bomb pot next. I'm all in for the 1k cap. I've got ace queen 7-4 on these 2 boards. I'm actually up against 8-8-4-4 and able to find a better boat on the bottom board. I'm now trying to suck out for the whole pot on the top board, but it just breaks off. A little anticlimactic. We end up just chopping it up. That was a chance to get back to even right there if I just sucked out, but I guess a chop isn't so bad. All right, we're back to full no limit hold'em now. No PLO apart from the bomb pots every dealer change, and if we're going to get back to even for the day, then big hands like pocket queens will help. The cutoff is limped in for $20 because we've got a rare straddle here. I make it $80 to go in the small blind, and the middle blind just ships it in for $550. I snap him off. He's got pocket 7s, and we're running it twice, once again at his request. The first flop is a safe one. We get a safe turn and a safe river. No harm done there. We lock up half the pot. Next flop is a little sweatier. My opponent's got some backdoors, and then the turn gives him an open-ended straight draw. He's got a lot of outs now to find the chop, but we hold, we scoop the entire pot, and this is a nice pot coming my way. It's also all in yellow, so it looks a lot more than it actually is. I am still stuck a few $100 for the day. A couple of hours go by with no hands of note, but this casino is just randomly giving out free cake today. No idea why, but I am 3 slices deep and absolutely loving it. I love playing at the Hustler. They treat their customers so well. They're just giving out free cake. Next up, I've got Queen 10 offsuit on the button. Middle position limps in for $10, and I make it $45 to go. MP is gonna bust out the limp raise. He makes it $150 to go. And guys, I know this is not a great call, but I'm playing a little loosey-goosey. I've just had 3 slices of cake. I've got the sugar rush. I, of course, make the call. We go heads up to the flop, and it comes down Jack 8-5 rainbow. I've got that gut shot working for me, and my opponent bets out for $175. I think, you know, we've come this far. What's another bad call? Let's see if we can bang off a 9. It's actually a 10 on the turn. My opponent checks it on over to me. I actually think I should start blasting now. My opponent probably has aces or kings, and this is a really scary board, and I think I can probably make him fold, but I'm making every bad decision possible in this hand, so I decide to check it on back. Who cares if you're playing horrible poker, though, when you can just bang off a 9 on the river? Let's go. My opponent checks it on over to me, and it's really hard to get paid here, but we gotta try, of course. I settle on $400 as my wager. I think any bigger, we're just pricing him out of a hero call with a hand like aces or kings. He tanks for a very long time. He looks at me a couple of times, and eventually he does stick in the call. A little surprised I'm getting paid off here. But my queen 10 is of course good, and I'm dragging in a really nice pot. Didn't expect to get called on the river. It's always nice when you do. To be fair, I could have 5-4 suited here, but thank God I didn't have it. Thank God I had the straight, and I'm now back in profit for the day. It's been a bit of a swingy day so far today.
And we're back in profit now. A couple of 3-bet pots going against me with this ace king and this 5-4 suited. I re-raised them both pre-flop, but 2 unfavorable boards, and I end up losing medium-sized pots in both. It's been a really fun day today. Everyone has been given action, nobody more than me. But it is time to tap out. I'm only down $328 for the day. Considering I was the loosest of gooses, it's not the end of the world. I thought my time in Hawaii would make me very zen, but it's done the absolute opposite. Need to reel that in and not mess about as much with the boys in future sessions. Quick spoiler alert, I don't. A few days later, I wake up at 6:45 a.m. and see there's an overnight game running. That could be amazing, so I immediately book an Uber and head across town. As I rock up to the Hustler, I feel a bit more in the zone, more focused to play well. It's weird being here this early in the day, but the routine is the same. I grab my chips, I head across to the table. It is short-handed, it looks like it's on the verge of breaking. The players look like they are desperate for their beds. Let's jump in, let's take their chips and send them on their way. First hand of the day, I 3-bet this very blurry ace-9 suited in the small blind. Camera not quite woken up yet. My opponent calls, the flop is ace-6-4 all hearts. I check it on over to him, he checks back. I just delay c-bet on the 6 of diamonds turn and take it down, settling me in nicely, winning a pot after just a few minutes in this early morning grind. Another nice hand just 5 minutes later, I pick up ace-king, raise it on a pre-flop, I c-bet on the flop and I take it down. Overnight games can be really good with insane action, or everyone is really sleepy and passive. This one appears to be the latter, but that's still of course very profitable. You just gotta keep your foot on the gas. 3 minutes later, I pick up another playable hand. I've got 7-6 of clubs in the small blind. The button limps in. I decide not to isolate. I just flick in the call. Big blind is gonna raise it on up to $70. Button makes the call, and I'm of course making the call with my suited connectors. We go 3 ways to the flop, and it comes down king 4-3 with 2 hearts. The big blind c-bets for $70. I've got the gut shot, I've got the backdoor flush draw. I could raise, but I lean towards just calling in this instance. I make the call, and the 5 of spades just slides on in there to give me the absolute nuts right now. What's more, my opponent is not done betting. When I check, he bets out for $200, and given the fact we're out of position, I think this is a mandatory raise. If we just call, there's lots of bad rivers, it could go check. It looks really strong, but I make it $600. I know I look strong as I do this, but we want to try and build a pot. My opponent does a sort of I've been here all night, fuck this shit head shake and just lets it go. I'm pretty sure he's just folded top pair, but that's the risk we've got to take. The nuts on such a wet, vulnerable board. We risk losing our customer, but it's the risk we have to take. Very good start to the session here. I'm up $750 early on. Really happy I got out of bed to come and play. Feeling a little guilty at winning every pot so far, so I decide to put on the straddle. I pick up king queen offsuit and everyone is gonna limp in. Pretty clear raise, of course. I make it $120 to go. These loose, passive, nitty, sleepy, annoyed guys are not loving this. And the small blind decides to take a stand. He makes the call. Flop comes down jack 9-3 rainbow. I of course c-bet. I bet out for $120. He is going to make the call, and the turn is a king. He is going to check it on over to me, and I really don't mind checking back here. It can kind of go either way. Remember, his range is not that strong here given he's limp called. So I decide to just check it on back, look a little weaker myself. River is an 8. He checks it on over to me, and it is definitely time to go for value. I bet out for $230. My opponent immediately shakes his head. That tells me I've got the best hand. He thinks for a little while, and then he flicks in the call. These 7 a.m. grinds are absolutely amazing. Very profitable. I'm just winning every hand so far. I'm going to pick up ace king of clubs just a few minutes later. I've had about 10 playable hands in the first 30 minutes here.
The button has raised it on up to $50 because somebody else is in the straddle. Small blind makes the call, and once again I'm putting in more money. I make it $230 to go. The straddle is going to cold call, and everyone else just gets out of the way. The straddle is the player from the last hand. We go heads up to the flop, and it comes down Jack 9-3 with 2 clubs. I've got 2 overs, backdoor straight draw, and of course the nut flush draw. What's more, my opponent has only got $275 behind, so I keep up the aggression. I put them all in. He fairly quickly makes the call. I show my cards, and he says that he is ahead right now. Jack of spades on the turn, that's probably not good. 10 of spades on the river, I couldn't improve. And we were up against ace-9 of diamonds. My opponent is going to scoop in this really nice pot. It's a bit of a speed bump in what has otherwise been a very smooth road so far this morning. I guess you can't win every single hand. I did scoop this bomb pot with king, jack, jack, deuce. I've got the nut straight and just a pair of kings, but I misplayed it. I should have put more money in on the turn, but still around $400 pot coming my way. And the game is now very short. One player is leaving to catch the bus home, and inevitably it is just going to break. Still booking a really nice win of $640 to start off the day, racking up my profits, really happy with that. It's 8:30 in the morning. I am hungry for more poker, so I book another Uber, not to take me home, but to head all the way across town, our second journey of the day, arriving at the Commerce Casino, a place I used to grind every day when I came to Los Angeles. Really excited to be back. I love playing at the Commerce. Got to get a quick picture here for the gram before heading into play. It doesn't take long for a new 510 to start. I've got my $1,500 buy-in, plenty of rebuys if I need them. Let's get into the grind. First hand of note comes 7 minutes into the session. I've got king 7 of spades in the big blind, and under the gun has raised. A million players have made the call, and I of course call out the big blind as well. We go 5 or 6 ways to the flop here, not quite sure. It comes down 5-4 deuce with 2 spades. This is a decent board for my range, and if we're gonna play any leads, it'll probably be on a board like this, so I bet out for $50. Under the gun makes the call, the hijack makes the call, and the button calls as well. Turn is a deuce, no real help to me, but I decide to bet out anyway. I bet out for $125, kind of setting my own price because I rarely expect to get raised here, and I don't want to check call. It just sort of ruins the flow of the hand if I get there on the river. So I bet out for $125. Under the gun is going to fold, hijack is going to fold, and somehow this gets through as the button just folds as well. Really did not expect that. I like my lead on the flop, I like the exploitative sizing scheme on the turn, and I'm very surprised to just take it on down. Next up, I've got pocket queens on the button. There have been 2 limps before the cutoff makes it $60 to go. I'm of course re-raising here. I make it $180 to go. Small blind is going to cold call, and everyone else just gets out the way. We go heads up to the flop. Very safe looking jack 4-3 with 2 diamonds. He is going to check it on over to me, and I bet out for $140. He is going to make the call. Relatively safe turn, doesn't complete any straights or flushes or anything like that, so I definitely want to bet again, this time for $400. Pretty big turn bet here, setting up for the river jam. My opponent is going to make the call, and we see a king roll off on the river. My opponent checks it on over to me, and it's very easy to just check back here because, well, he might have a hand like king queen of diamonds or something like that, but he's got a lot more hands like pocket 10s and ace jack and things like that that I think can get called by. I've watched a lot of Ben a Bad Beat on YouTube lately, and I decide to jam it in with second pair. Fuck the scary river, I am going for it. My opponent says, goddamn river, shakes his head and just folds. I think he had a hand like pocket 10s or pocket 9s or something like that. I think he'd probably call with a jack here, to be honest. But once again, really smooth start to the session. I am up $1,075. Game is getting a little short. There's a few tables now running, but it is really quite soft. I love these short-handed soft games. The hijack is going to raise the next hand to $35, and I'm feeling a little bit here with 9-7 of clubs on the button. It's a little loose, but in a soft game, I'm going to flick in the call. Small blind makes the call, big blind makes the call. We go 4 ways to the flop. It comes down ace 9-5 with 2 diamonds and 1 club. It's going to check on over to me. And if I was playing online, if I was playing against a bunch of solver nerds, I would never ever bet this hand. But I think good things can come from betting here in position. I never expect to get check raised. I've got lots of backdoor equity and whatnot, so I bet out for $70. Like I say, I know this is not a thing theoretically, so you solver nerds who are waiting to roast me in the comments, you can take a day off. Big blind is going to make the call. We go heads up to the turn. It is the king of clubs, and I decide to bet out. I can get called by all the diamond draws that my opponent has. I can maybe make some better 9x fold, and I've got lots of equity going to the river. If I make my flush or 2 pair or three of a kind, I get to win a really big pot. Like I said, I know this is not a thing theoretically, but I just never expect to get raised here. It's great when I realize my equity. Unfortunately for me, my opponent instantly, and I mean instantly, makes it $1,300 to go. One of the reasons for betting the turn here is I never expect to have to bet fold my equity, and my opponent has just instantly made it $1,300. I decide not to chase, I decide to just let it go. We're not all that deep. He's basically just jammed, so I don't think I can call here. This has backfired spectacularly. When I try and just really push the boundaries of exploitative poker, it ends up just blowing up in my face. I fold, and he shows me King-9 offsuit, one of the very few hands that he can do this with. We rabbit hunt, and the river would have been the deuce of clubs. Why, oh why did I ask the dealer if we can see the river? It's just better not knowing sometimes. It's unfortunate when you take a really exploitative line just never expecting to get raised off your equity, and then your opponent ends up raising you off of your equity with one of the rare hands that they can check raise. No matter though, because just a few minutes later, I look down at pocket kings in the small blind. I'm going to squeeze it on up pre-flop to $150. This is going to get called by the button. Flop comes down 9-6-4 all hearts. Not the best flop in the world, but I do decide to just c-bet, and I end up taking it down. Still, really nice day so far. I'm $760 to the good at the commerce, and that could be about to get even better when I look down at pocket queens in the small blind. The guy with the King-9 offsuit is raised, the button makes a call, and I make it $155 to go. The hijack is the only caller. We go heads up to the flop. It comes down 8-3 deuce with two clubs. Again, really safe flop, and I definitely want to go ahead and bet. I also want to use a big sizing on this board, so I bet out for $275, and after a couple of seconds, my opponent makes the call. The camera is unblurred now, focusing just on time to see a really nice deuce roll off on the turn. I bet again, this time for $575, once again setting up for the river jam if I get the opportunity to do so. My opponent tanks for 75 seconds, but at the very beginning of the tank, he shakes his head and says that's a really big bet, and that means two things. One, he's either folding or he's got the nuts and he's trying to like trap me and make it look like he's weak or something like that. So he's either folding or he's got the nuts. So I'm a tiny bit relieved when he actually decides to just fold. The alternative is that he's got the nuts. So I'm happy to take this one down, to be honest with you. So many premiums in a row because next up I've got ace king offsuit under the gun. I raise it on up to $35, button makes the call, and the small blind squeezes. He makes it $180 to go. He is a European regular. The big blind is a non-pro, shall we say. He is going to cold call. Small blind's got about 1,300, big blind's got about 800. Could go either way here, but I decide to just jam it in. You can't really go wrong in this spot given the stack sizes. We could make it something like 500, 525, or we can just jam it all in. I decide to jam. Small blind fairly quickly makes the call. Big blind is going to get out the way. There's no running it twice here, and we run into pocket aces. This is an absolute disaster. The flop is about as bad as can be for me. Nothing at all. No backdoors, no nothing. We need runner kings for a miracle suck out, but I am dead on the turn. Very unfortunate. The meaningless river rolls off, and I have officially been stacked. Well, no, actually, I had him covered, so I've doubled him up. He has $1,360. It is a nasty cooler. It is part of the game. I'm still up $40 for the session, so I guess it's not all bad. I'm going for all the premiums today as I now pick up pocket jacks in the big blind. A new European player to the game has raised it on a pre-flop. I put in the re-raise and I just take it down. I just need pocket tens to complete the set of all the premiums. I had aces earlier. I raised pre, I won it. So I just need tens to complete the set. And 10 minutes later, what do you know? I look down at pocket tens. The same guy is raised, and from the same position, I put in the re-raise, and not the same outcome. This time he is gonna 4-bet. He makes it $320 to go. There's only one option here. I'm not folding. I'm not moving all in. I make the call. Flop comes down 8-5-4 rainbow. I check it on over to him, and he bets out for $145. I'm not raising. I'm not folding. I go ahead and make the call. You could probably raise here in theory, but with no reads, I decide to just call. Turn is a deuce. I check it on over to my opponent, and he does just check it back. I think a lot of good players are going to check back aces here and sometimes kings, but I have no reads on this guy, so I'm not going to give him the credit for doing that. So when the 7 rolls off on the river, I think we can go for value here. Interestingly enough, I asked my Instagram followers what they would do in this spot. 12% of them want to jam here for $1,000, 34% want to bet around 20-ish% pot, 40% want to check call, and 14% want to just check fold their pocket tens. I decide option B. I bet out for $225, just trying to get called by a hand like ace 5, ace 4, maybe even ace king king or something like that, but he is fairly quickly gonna just let it go. If you're not yet following me on Instagram, there's a link in the description of this video. I'm posting poker content every day. It's a lot of fun. 5 minutes later, I pick up pocket tens again. This time I'm in the cutoff and middle position has limped in. I'm of course raising here. I make it $50 to go. Big blind is the European player that's featured in the last 2 hands, and once again he is re-raising. Very European of him indeed. He makes it $210 to go. Middle position is going to overcall, and again, just one option. I'm not folding, I'm not re-raising. I go ahead and make the call. We go 3 ways to the flop, and it comes down Jack 9-9 rainbow. The European player is going to check, and then middle position is going to check as well. I decide to check back here, which I don't love in hindsight. I don't think the big blind is going to be trapping here with a loose recreational player in the pot, and I don't think the loose recreational player is ever going to check a jack or better, and my hand does benefit from some protection, so I think I should bet here and probably just take it down, to be honest, but I do decide to check it on back. Turn is a 3, nothing really changes on that turn, and now middle position bets out for $205. I'm not going anywhere just yet. I need to see what happens on the river. I make the call, kind of happy to see a very quick fold from the European player in the blinds. And we see an 8 roll off on the river. I guess hands like pocket 8s and queen 10 have just gotten there, but when he checks it on over to me, I'm pretty sure I've got the best hand. He's got like $300 behind, but I don't think there's value here. I check it on back, and he's got ace 10 of clubs. He went for the stab on the turn, and I was able to make the call and drag in this really nice pot. This is actually going to be my last hand of this session, last hand of the day. I am going to grind for a little while longer with nothing of note happening. Here are the results from the Hustler Casino earlier today, and here are the results from the Commerce. I'm having a really good trip so far. Results for the trip to date are on your screen right now. It's been absolutely awesome. I read somewhere online recently that a very quick ending to a YouTube video is really good for your figures and retention. So on that note,